Oh, ladies and gentlemen, still in last night's clothes. Bottle of water for the hangover, because we haven't been home yet. It's a party after yesterday's episode and our promotion with Taunton Town to the National League. Let's get stuck into the season reviews and the summer transfers. Welcome back to part 10 of our Zero to Hero series with Taunton Town, where, as I've mentioned, we have just won the playoffs and promotion to the National League. If you didn't see that episode, pop back and watch yesterday's one. I'll chuck a card up in the corner. It was full of surprises. I have come back essentially minutes after I've recorded the episode, both in real life and in game, because there's a lots of stuff happening on the emails. We can see here the first one, Taunton promoted to the National League, which I'm still a little bit in shock about. If you do enjoy this episode, I'm going to say it now because I will get excited and then forget about it. Please do drop a like down below, hit the subscribe button, all that lovely stuff. Chuck a comment in there. Let me know how you think we're going to fare with Taunton in the National League this season. It could be a bit of a difficult one. We can see the first email directly afterwards. We have been set the initial budgets. We have a transfer budget of exactly zero. Nothing at all, which is kind of what we expected. But we have got a vastly improved wage budget of £2,000 currently spare as it stands. We have also got a lot of players out of contract, which we will have a look at some point in this episode. Rejoicing in promotion, blah, blah, blah. All lovely stuff. Asante is happy that we've gone and secured promotion to National League, which I actually promised that we'd do next season. We've managed it this season. Rogerson getting an 8.4 rating in that last match, including saving a penalty to see us through the final. He carried us on his back. And then Martel Taylor-Crossdale, the king of Taunton and our captain, there to clinch the winner for us. But let's have a look at the review of the 2022-23 season. These were our transfers in. Asante right at the top here, our 21-year-old striker, came over, formerly of Sturs, 39 appearances and 5 off the bench. 30 goals for him and 3 assists with an average rating of 7.53. I would say that was a good bit of business, as was Martel Taylor-Crossdale coming over on a free from Weymouth. He was actually a free agent, but it's obviously going to tell you their last clubs. 37 appearances, 9 off the bench, 29 goals, 9 assists. Very, very solid. Dominic Rogerson, another one. The board are disappointed with the deal to sign Dominic Rogerson. They feel like we're paying over the odds for the player. I feel like you need to get your head in order. This man this season has been brilliant. I mean, if we have a look at this, he's conceded 36 in 32. But for a young goalkeeper to get those 10 clean sheets as well, I don't think that's a massive issue, and I don't think they're all down to him either. A lot of that is down to our defence, which has been shaky. Hopefully, that is something we can improve this summer. Jaden Smith, another striker we brought in from Southampton. 24 goals to his name. A fantastic season. Lloyd James, formerly of Bath, in our series last year, in fact, has come on, made 48, 50 with substitution appearances for the club of this season. Got himself 9 goals, got 10 assists. Really, really good. Pascal was on loan. George McLennan we got as well. He's had a pretty decent season. Jack Bycroft started off well and then got dropped in favour of Rogerson. I feel like in hindsight, that was a very, very good decision. Nelson Ashcroft, again, another 17-year-old winger we've brought in on a free. Let's just assume these are all on frees. I'm going to stop saying it. We haven't spent any money. We don't actually have any. He's had a pretty solid season as well. Gareth Lewis, another one coming in. Dylan Morgan wasn't brought in by us. Callum Mendes-Jones was. He probably won't be here much longer. James Whitting, much the same thing. Brought in by us. Probably won't be here at the end of this summer. Callum Kennedy, another one, probably won't be here at the end of the summer. He was very much brought in as a body to fill some gaps. Joe Budd, he will be here next season. He has a decent amount of potential. Joe Powell, again, I very much doubt he will be here, but we kind of see, maybe he will. Maybe he'll be the backup at right back. Dan Ball probably won't, and Sims Burgess probably won't as well. Transfers out, you can see here, there has been a few of them. Not all of them are made by us. Actually, I think all of them were made by us. Nat Jarvis, is one of them. I don't remember selling him, but apparently we did. Fair enough. He literally came in this season and we sold him this season. I'm not sure how we managed that, but never mind. Loans out. Jared Lewitton, again, I believe his contract's ending and we don't expect to renew it. Season's results then. For some reason, it doesn't have the league on here. That's interesting. FA Cup, we expected to be competitive. We got to the 4th qualifying round. It was all pretty nice before we got battered 4-1 by Ebbsfleet on the channel. And the same with the FA Trophy. We were expected to be competitive and then we drew 0-0. 0-0 with Havant Waterloo? Did we lose on penalties? I can't remember what happened there. But either way, we got knocked out of the FA Trophy. Our biggest win, a 7-2 win against Hartley in the FA Cup. The match to remember was a win against Hemel Hempstead, 3-1 on the day with a hat-trick there from Asante. And goal of the season goes to Jaden Smith against Dulwich Hamlet. I don't remember what this... I do remember this goal. I'm pretty sure we saw this goal on the channel, actually. But we will have a very, very quick look at it. If I remember rightly, this is the goal where he skinned a load of defenders, and it was really, really nice. So here he is gathering the ball in just inside the opposition half, passes one, passes two, cuts inside, hits it in the back of the net. It's a lovely goal. We were all very happy, and I think that was when he was sort of challenging whether it was him or Taylor Crossdale in the side. Club reputation hasn't changed over the last season. The reputation is still local with 1 star. All of this has gone up, but there's nothing for FM to compare it to, so we just kind of ignore that. Over here, top shirt sold Asante, Smith, Taylor Crossdale, James and Lucas. None of those seem overly surprising. This is our best 11 for the season. It is Rogerson, McLennan, Purcell, Folston, Pearson, who left us on because he was on a non-contract, so he left midway through the season. Ashcroft, Lucas, James and Smith has pretty much been our centre four for the whole season. And then Asante and Taylor Crossdale. Taylor Crossdale beating out Jaden Smith then. On a personal accolade note, we got 2 Manager of the Months, one for November and one for March. On terms of club awards, Fans Player of the Season is Asante. The Young Player of the Season, also Asante. And he's also Signing of the Season. Goal of the season we just saw. Top goal scorer is Asante with 30 goals. Most assists, Zach Smith over on that right hand side with 11. Taylor Crossdale gets the most player of the matches with 9. Asante the highest average rating with a 7.5. Record breakers again. Lots and lots and lots of records broke. We don't really take too much notice of them. They become a bit more important next season. And we've got a very, very pink ready manager timeline here, which is kind of cool, I guess. Welcome aboard, blah, 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 blah. I don't think we need to look at this too hard because we kind of know what happened. Signed the ting. Sorry. What is that, Football Manager? We've got promoted. Asante keeps scoring 30 goals in a season. Surely that should be over here because he did that before we got promoted. But never mind, we'll allow it. It's kind of cool, I guess. Either way, we finished 3rd. It's a new record high. Of course it is. It's our first season in the League South. We've only spent 1 season there. And we're not going back. We have a look at our supporter profile. We've gained some family followers. We've lost some core followers. And we've gained 76 new people on social media. We've got 877 now. We are amazing. They expect us next season to play attacking football. I mean, I'd like to, but that's very much going to depend what players we can bring in, doesn't it? Club vision expectation meetings. We're just going to accept it because it never works to negotiate, and then we're going to have a look. So play attacking football. That's going to be interesting. Direct football I can do. And counter-attacking football. Surely you can't play attacking and counter-attacking football. Surely you play one or the other. Whatever. They also want us to work within a wage budget, which shouldn't be a problem. And essentially, attempt to avoid relegation from the National League, which, yes, I think that's probably realistically the best we're going to do next season. It is going to be a very interesting one. We're going to just have a quick chat with the players. Let's just say we have faith we'll avoid getting involved in a relegation battle. Nope. Nope, that wasn't it. Maybe this is unrealistic. Just work as hard as you can to avoid the drop. we're discuss promises you after pre-season. Go have your pre-season, go on holiday. I will see some of you when you get back. If nothing else, we have got some very, very good players up front. We are not going to need to touch that up front at all during the summer. Maybe we bring someone in as a sort of fourth choice youth player, but globally, we're not going to need to do a lot to it. Danny Mills has just won National League South Player of the Year. I find that a little bit rude when you've got Asante, but equally, we are going to give him a scout. We can't scout him. We can't scout him yet because he's outside the scouting budget. He is 31 as well, and I've just said we don't need a striker, so maybe we just ignore him. Right, let's have a look at the players. So I've arranged this screen in terms of when the contracts expire. Now, Mendes-Jones, Kennedy, Powell and Gareth Lewis are all on non-contract, so we can get rid of them at any time. I don't think Joel Powell would be a bad player to keep and sort of have him as a backup for either the right back or the right midfield positions. And Gareth Lewis I'd like to keep as a left midfielder because I think he's got a lot of potential. Callum Kennedy and Mendes-Jones, if they leave, they leave. If we can find better, which I hope we can, then they will be leaving the club. Below that, we've then got players that will be leaving at the end of their contract. Lloyd James, at the age of 35, he has been a great servant this season, but it's time for him to move on. Ross Stern, much the same thing. He's earning £150 a week. He's not really great value for it at the moment, and at 32 he probably goes. Dan Ball at the age of 31 leaves as well. Jack Bycross on loan, he'll return back to Southampton, I think it is. Dylan Morgan already has a transfer arranged. He's joining TNS. I'm not really sure who TNS are. That is showing a lack of knowledge. They are the New Saints. Right, that's how I don't know what they are, because we've got an abbreviation going on there, but he's heading over to Wales. Sims Burgess, I think he's listed. He will be leaving the club as well, as will Lee Lucas, who is heading over to the same place in Wales. Purcell again on loan. That means the players we'll be keeping are down here. So we've so far got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 players heading into the new season. We're going to have a lot of spare wage budget. We are going to have to build almost an entire new squad. And why I'm here as well, there's probably never a better time. Can we improve the training facilities? We have got the problem that we have promised some of our players and we couldn't remove it in terms of contract negotiations, that we wanted to improve the training facilities. As you can see, we failed that because we've asked the board several times and they just don't want to improve them. We have now got another year in order to try and do that because we've renegotiated with the players. But you'd hope now we're going up in the world that maybe the board would think about it. They are, by the looks of it, modifying the stadium capacity with the addition of 100 seats. Interesting. Take about 2 months to complete. You'd think then that will be complete just before the new season, which would be quite good. Either way, I'll come back if anything cool happens, but for the moment, we're going to go away, try and sort out some transfers, and try and build a team that's capable of at least surviving in the National League next season. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering why I'm wearing a completely different set of clothes, it is because I've decided to change, go home, have a shower, and essentially sober up from the copious amounts of champagne that were served at the promotion party, and also because we are all the way in the future on the 12th of August and the first game of the Vanarama National League, which also means that a huge amount of transfers have now been finalised. I still don't think we've got the complete final squad yet, but we have got improvements as we head into the National League. The first of these and the first boy to come in was 21-year-old English midfielder Ethan Robb. Now he can play as a box-to-box midfielder, which we do want. He's not great yet, 2.5 stars. The thing with some of these are as well, so when Ethan Robb came in, he was around 3.5 stars current ability, and as we've brought in bigger and better players, that star rating has slowly dropped down. It does mean, though, he's a North-South standard player at the moment, with potential to be National League standard. which I think for this season is going to do us absolutely fine. We can see here as well all the other transfers we have brought in. But on the outside, we'll start with first. Gareth Lewis has left to go play for Tranmere's under-18s. Not one we wanted to lose, potentially, especially after he did score in the playoffs. But he wouldn't sign a new contract with us. We did offer him one. He wanted an obscene amount of money. He wanted to go from a non-contract straight up to earning £600 a week, which, let's be honest, is mad. And also more annoying because, as we can see here, he actually joined Tranmere on £250 a week. I think I might have been okay offering him that, but not £600. The boy was off his rocker. George McLennan has also left the club. We were very, very keen to keep hold of him, but unfortunately we weren't able to do so. He was unhappy because we brought in other players on that left-hand side, and he was worried he was getting pushed out the club, which eventually left to him leaving the club. He's gone to Western-super-Mare, who are now in the National League South. James Whiting, our signing from last season, who did want to leave, has also gone to join Bournemouth. Annoyingly, he looks fairly decent, doesn't he? And we probably could have kept hold of him, but he wanted to leave. He wasn't getting very much game time. If we have a look at last season, in fact, he only started 10 games or played 10 games, 5 starting and 5 off of the bench. So he has also left the club. Lee Lucas, we knew, was leaving because he was 31 and a little bit of a diva if you subbed him off. So he is also gone, as has Dylan Morgan to the same club. On the inside, though, we have done a huge amount of transfers. We start at the bottom with Connor Riley-Lowe. Now, Connor Riley-Lowe is a little bit of a weird one. We bought him in on a non-contract. For the eagle-eyed amongst you, can see he is now a free agent, and that is purely because he joined the club and then was released very, very shortly afterwards, as we found better players who wanted permanent contracts and not non-contracts. So he filled a spot on the bench for all of a week. So Connor Riley-Lowe joined the club and left again. We then had Jack Turner come in. He previously played for Southampton, plays for Southampton in real life at the moment. He is a ball-winning midfielder to sit alongside our second midfielder, who's either going to be this season another box-to-box midfielder or potentially a central midfielder, depending who we play there. We can see 3.5 stars of current ability and could improve significantly on his potential ability. At the age of 20, you'd hope he would manage to do that. So very happy to get him in. We then got Miles Sona. I believe that's how you say his name. Another English young player coming in from Aston Villa. 2.5 stars current ability, 5 stars of potential ability. He is showing up at 2.5 stars as a current National League standard player. He's probably not the best National League standard player at the moment, but he is at the right quality for this league, which is nice to see. And again, could improve a lot. So when we could build the squad around for the future. We then brought in Owen Hasketh. He's come over again from a Premier League club, Wolves this time. He can play basically anywhere in the centre. He can play on the left of midfield, on the right of midfield. He can play in midfield itself. He can even play as a central attacking midfielder if we ever want to go to a diamond or a 4-2-3-1 or anything that involves a central attacking midfielder. Welsh, 20 years old. Again, a decent amount of potential. We're saying he could improve a lot. I'm not sure with all of these what improve a lot means, but if it means they can be good enough to be in the league above, then we're very happy with that. Jaden Sweeney, left back, was the next player to come in. He formerly was of Leyton Orient. He's also had loans in the National League and the National League South. Obviously cost us no money. None of these transfers cost us any money. 4 stars of current ability and can improve significantly. So I think, again, it's a really, really good signing. We're just flying through these because there is so many of them. James Horlick is a goalkeeper we've brought in at the age of 20 again, formerly of Luton in the Championship. Didn't get any game time there, but I think is an improvement on our current goalkeeping situation. Next in was Charlie Farr, 21 years old, English right-hand player. We can't really pin him down to position. He might end up playing right midfield. He might end up playing right back. He's pretty adept at both of them. If we ever wanted to go to a back 5, because I'd gone insane, then he can play as a wing back. He can also play as an attacking midfielder on the right. If we ever wanted to do that 4-2-3-1, we can see 3.5 stars of current ability, and could be a potentially League 2 standard player, which is lovely stuff if we manage to get promoted this season. Back to back promotions, maybe? Our next player in was Noah Watson, another 20-year-old player who is English and coming over from Crystal Palace in the Premier League. We can kind of see what we were going for here. And we managed to get a lot of former Premier League players and a lot of very, very young players, which can improve for the future, which is exactly what we're after. He's come in to essentially be the backup left back for the future. And he is current National League standard player, could improve a lot. There's a similarity amongst a lot of these, as you can see. Harvey Rhodes was another player that came in. He was formerly at Aston Villa as well. He's going to be the backup right back this season, I think. I'm still not entirely sure on that. Maybe he starts, maybe he's the backup. It kind of depends where everyone else is playing. But again, bags of potential to improve. Could be potentially League 2 standard. With Gareth Lewis leaving as well, we did need a replacement for him. So we've brought in Declan Frith, we're going to call him Frith, 21 years old, English, formerly of Aston Villa. Apparently, I've stole a lot of Aston Villa's youth players, but they did release them all, so it's their own fault. 4 stars of current ability, 5 stars plus of potential. Could improve significantly. He's definitely going to be our starter there over on the left. We then brought in Nico Asari, another one, English, 22 years old. Kind of works as a backup on the right-hand side. Formerly of Fulham. He then went to Oxford City, had a loan. In fact, no, he didn't have a loan. He was at Oxford City. He then went to Maidenhead and then was loaned back to Oxford City. Maidenhead then released him, and now he has come over to us to play for Taunton in the National League. As our backup right midfielder then, we have got David Stacey. Again, I say right midfielder. He offers a lovely amount of depth. He can play at right back. He can play at left back. It would make him inverted, but he can play there. Left wing back, right wing back. If we were really desperate, we could play him as a central defender. Don't think we'd be that desperate this season. He's not quite as good as the others, but 3-star of current ability and could become a leading National League player. So he'll definitely do for this season, if nothing else. We then brought in Luigi Gaspar, a Brazilian. We have brought in our first Brazilian of the save as a central midfielder. He can play as a defensive midfielder if we ever decide to go down that route as well. I think he's quite good. So he has 3.5 stars of current ability. He has up to 5 stars of potential ability. Some of his technicals are lacking a little bit, especially if we went back here and dropped into this. You can see like he's got a tooth of finishing, which isn't great. But I think he gets by. I think he does enough that, especially if he's improves and somebody's improved, he'd be quite good. His physicals are decent. I think he'll be a very, very important player this season. And no later than yesterday, we brought in another centre-back, Wasiri Williams, English 23-year-old, formerly of a multitude of clubs. He played for Swansea last season, Braintree before that. He has very much done the tour of English football and the English leagues. Again, I feel like he will be a solid centre-back this season, if nothing very inspiring. He hasn't got as much potential as the others, but definitely has a part to play. This is what our squad looks like then. In other news, though, and possibly the most annoying thing of this transfer window, both Inox Asante and Jaden Smith have both come to me midway through the transfer window and said they want to explore their options at the end of their contract. There doesn't seem to be any reason for that, other than maybe they think they're too good for the club, because Asante is currently a League 2 standard player. So I can understand maybe him wanting to leave. Hopefully we can have a really good season and change his mind. National League standard player, but could improve a lot for Jaden Smith. But both of those players have decided that in the long term, they want to leave. I think, though, especially up this end, this looks like a very good squad. When you look at it on the tactics screen, and this being possibly the lineup I go with for the first match, you can kind of see where we're strong and where we're weaker. Up front, especially if I take Taylor Crosdale out and put in Jaden Smith, up front, we're very, very good. Both of our strikers, absolutely fantastic. Midfield looks amazing. So these 4 here, 3.5 stars or 4 stars for all of them. Both of our left back and our right back are very, very good. And then we've kind of got our centre-backs, who maybe are the weakest part of this squad. But I have made so many bids for centre-backs in this window, which they've accepted the contract, and then somebody else has come in with a bid and they've gone elsewhere. I mean, I genuinely, at one point, not long ago in this window, had maybe 5 centre-backs that we'd offer contracts to all of them, and all of them have gone to bigger clubs. For example, there was a guy called Christiansen. He agreed a contract with us and then ended up at Plymouth Argyle, who are in the Championship in this after being promoted as well. So I can understand why you'd go there over us, but it doesn't make it any less annoying. That, though, I think is a very, very good squad. Especially even outside of it, we haven't got Jay Falston in there. Zach Smith is not even in the matchday squad. Joe Budd isn't in there either. Ethan Robb, the first transfer we made, not in the matchday squad. Rogerson not starting. We've got a squad I think is capable, at least, of doing something in the league. And now I'm going to have a look at the season preview. And yeah, we're not fantastic in there, but it does have us in 19th, which would mean we're not getting relegated. We're the only promoted club, according to the bookies, that aren't going to go straight back down. So I think we can be very, very happy with that. But more excitingly, that means that on Monday's episode, we will have our first matches in the National League. That is going to be against Solihull Moors and then against Chester. I have no idea what to expect in those matches, but I am very, very excited. If you guys are as excited as I am, then please do drop a like down below. Hit the subscribe button. Hit your notification bell when you've hit the subscribe button as well. And it will tell you every time we upload this series, so you won't have to miss any of Taunton's first season in the National League. It is going to be either a lot of fun or a lot of hardship. But either way, it will be exciting. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching today. I will see you on Monday. Bye-bye.